Hi there, I just wanted to respond to your video. First of all, your whole point seems to be that there is no real terrorist threat. You seem to think that radical Islam is overplayed. I disagree strongly. If this is not a problem, I would like to understand a few things. First, why is it that in Europe a poll was conducted by a Muslim organization? A Muslim organization conducted this poll. And this poll showed that 40% of Muslims wanted to see Islamic Sharia law in Britain, and 10% of them said they admired terrorists. Does this not show a growing problem with radical Islam? How about the fact that a study in the United States by a non-profit group found over 200 books throughout mosque and Islamic schools in the United States teaching hate of Jews and jihad warfare? Recently, Iran has also admitted that textbooks in their schools teach of martyrdom and hatred of the West. Radical Islam is very mainstream in the Middle East. It is not hard to find imams on Middle East television teaching jihad warfare and hatred. The teaching of warfare in the mainstream media in the Middle East is not uncommon. My list can go on and on. If you would like more examples, just ask and I will give them to you. I realize, as you say, that the boogeyman are not necessarily knocking on my back door wanting to kill me. But do you want to wait till it gets to that point? Look at countries like Lebanon. Lebanon used to be a Christian nation that was free, but slowly and surely the radicals took over. Look at the Sudan as well. 20 years ago, the Sudan was not controlled by radicals, but now they are. This is a problem that starts out small and grows larger and larger. History has showed us that. Should we let it grow larger before we do anything about it? Some radical Muslim boogeyman does not have to be knocking on my back door for me to want to do something about it. I would hope it wouldn't have to get to that point for you either. If I was a Muslim, this is what I would have to say about terrorism. Yes, there are radical imams in many mosques, and they are even considered mainstream in the Islamic world. This is a major problem that we have as Muslims in our community. We as Muslims must stand up against this. The things the imams are teaching must be stopped. We as Muslims must stop those that quote the Quran and say it justifies warfare, and we must educate our kids and the rest of the Ummah that the hate taught is not true and to never listen to them. We must develop a doctrine using the Quran to teach against this. And the calling for Sharia law must be stopped because it goes against Islam and human rights and the rights of individuals. This is what I would be saying if I was a Muslim. But instead, it seems most moderate Muslims want to blame America, want to blame Bush. You want to blame everything except the root of the problem. The root of the problem is radicalized teaching of the Quran to Muslims, and that must be stopped. Let's assume we totally pulled out of the Middle East altogether. Every single last one of our troops, we pulled them out of the Middle East. And let's say that no one in America ever said one negative thing about Islam or Muhammad. Everyone in America only spoke good of Islam and never even mentioned the Middle East or anything about the Middle East. Do you think that the radical teaching would stop? Do you think that people would stop hating us and wanting to impose Islamic Sharia law on America? No! It has nothing to do with any of this. It has everything to do with the fact that they believe the Quran teaches them that Islamic law should rule the world. I would like to understand what your beef is with Irshad Manji. She is a Muslim voice speaking out against radical Islam. I see nothing wrong with that. Also, if you have not heard of her, there is a woman by the name of Noni Darwish, who is another Muslim speaking out against radical Islam. I would like to hear your opinion on her. I really don't understand why Muslims are not strongly standing behind people like Noni. Another good group that is speaking out is the Free Muslim Coalition. You can see their website at freemuslims.org. I would like to know your opinion on them as well. Also, I would like to understand what it is about the Free Muslim Coalition that made CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, spokesman Ibrahim Hooper say they are not the voice of mainstream Islam. I can't seem to grasp that. Why would CAIR say that an organization that denounces terror and radical Islam, why would they say they do not represent mainstream Islam? Why can't CARE support the Free Muslim Coalition's voice to speak out against terrorism? Finally, I wanted to address your mention of Pakistan as a free country. While Pakistan may not be under Sharia law, complete Sharia law like Saudi Arabia, they are by no means comparable to the freedom in America. First of all, you cannot openly say anything negative about Islam or Muhammad in Pakistan. Sure, you're allowed to be a Christian or another religion, but you are not allowed to say anything negative about Islam. This is not freedom of speech. Not to mention that in order for a woman to prove rape, they have to provide 4 witnesses to the rape, and if they don't provide the witnesses, they can be thrown in jail for adultery. Well, this has went a bit longer than I wanted it to, but I believe I've made my point, and I hope you will give the things that I've said some thought. Thank you.